Okay, hello, it's so good to see you.
Hey,
Oh,
you just froze.
I was gonna say it froze on me, I'm so sorry. Okay, well, that is technology today, so I apologize. But okay, so I'd love to start out, just tell us all about you, because you're so amazing and fascinating to me. So let's hear some about you to begin today.
Thank you. So my name is Edina Mahieux. As you can hear from my accent, I am Hungarian, born and raised there. I moved to Switzerland after that to get my PhD in chemistry and ended up in the United States to do research in California at the university when I met my husband, who is French. So we always joke it was perfect. Like I could keep up with my French language, meeting a French guy in California. And then I was working as a scientist until I became a mom. When for me, it actually was very interesting because it was never really a question in my mind that I'm gonna quit my job, at least temporarily, to be with my children. But still, I didn't give my notice until my maternity leave was up because
There's no more stars. I'm sorry.
Hey, baby.
I'm sorry. She wanted me to open that for her. So yes, so you knew there was never a question. This is mom life, right? You knew there was never a question. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, so I think part of it is that I come from a culture when the moms stay home for 3 years and they go back to work.
Okay, can you get Mark to help you, please? Go ask Mark to help you. Well, you got to keep it plugged in. Go into Mark's room and ask him to turn it on for you, please. Thank you. I'm sorry. Okay, hopefully that'll be good.
I think also they feel like the more nervous or anxious am I to be alone, the more they are like coming back for more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I would just think that because of my culture, like in Hungary, I think now maybe it's 2 years, but it was 3 years, the maternity leave, and then mom just go back to work. Like it's not even a question. They keep the job. So I grew up with this mindset. And when I was pregnant, all my friends was like, of course you are gonna stay home. And 3 months, it was not really like, I didn't leave my job, but to be honest, I didn't look at daycare options or anything. So I think, in my heart, it was already decided. I didn't actually like tell my boss that I'm not going to come back. I pretty much clean my office. So.
Yeah, that makes perfectly good sense. I mean, especially now, we don't want to tell that information just yet when we're still kind of learning the ropes of everything. Like it's a whole new everything, so I completely get that.
And I mean, not everyone, like I wasn't sure, maybe after 2 months I would say I can't wait to go back, like I can't do this, this is not for me. I think I wanted just to have an option. And when time came, I actually went back for half a day just to have a goodbye, which I didn't do much. And I didn't regret. I never looked back. A lot of things happened after my son was born. We moved to Texas from California when I just got pregnant with my second one. And, I was thinking about going back to work after a year, but I was pregnant, I had a miscarriage, then we decided it was not the right time to, get an additional stress on our life. And then, we were trying, we get this job opportunity for my husband in Texas and we moved, I get pregnant, like life get out of control, which we wanted to move and everything was great. Like everything was what we were, asking for. It was just like suddenly everything happened. So we are here now 4 years.
Wow. Yeah, that's a huge move. I mean, you're moving a long way away. And I agree with you. Everything seems to happen at once, no matter which way you want to look at it. The good, the bad, the crazy, it's always all at the same time. So, yeah. Well, I love the way that you have found this like balance. You're like the stay-at-home entrepreneur mom queen, right? Like you've found this like just amazing balance of I see you on social and you're all over social and posting these really neat things, and then you're posting like these so cool, amazing moments that you have with your kids too. Like tell us a little bit about like how you're able to accomplish that. Like do you have set activities, or do you just let the days go? You know, kind of give us your lowdown on how that's possible.
Yeah, you know, if you follow me on social media, I'm very honest that it's not always the nice, you know, it's not always mommy is happy and the kids are, you know, smiling. Like I try to be very transparent that I don't have it all together. I have, you know, moments when I lose my patience, to not use other words here. But, you know, it's just, I was very fortunate that I find an opportunity that I felt gave me, as much as I love to be a stay-at-home mom, if you are a stay-at-home mom, you know, it's very, what is the right word? I don't want to say thankless, because, you know, you see your children growing and you have all this quality time, but, you know, when they are talking back to you or they are, you know, have a fussy day, you kind of question how good of a mother you are, if they would be better at school. You know, the house is always a mess and there is so many things you feel that you are lacking. So I kind of felt that aspect of the work when I had a, you know, just to-do list and I'm scratching off and it's like done, 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 done.
Mm-hmm.
As a mother and a stay-at-home mom, you don't have anything, you know, you do the laundry and the basket is full before you even fold everything.
Oh, yes.
So I was actually looking into going back to work, and anyway, long story short, they did not want a mom in the position. And that's when this opportunity I find fell on my lap. I never considered I would do anything like that, but I am just so grateful I said yes, because I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm an entrepreneur now. I have a team with over 100 people. I love to, you know, share on social media a real mom life. I try to be very transparent about not having it all, but still I feel it gave me a balance. I feel like I have a purpose. I'm helping other women achieving their goals. I'm building, you know, I'm bringing it money, which was for me a big thing, you know, leaving my 6-figure salary and then being a stay-at-home mom. And even though my husband never mentioned, you know, but like, he's amazing. It was never like, okay, my money or I earned the money, but I felt that, you know, I kind of have to ask permission. You know, I felt bad just to go and, you know, have a brunch with a friend and spend, you know, just money on myself or my own pleasure. So for me, it was important to have a little bit of, you know, I felt I worked for this. And, you know, it just grew much more than that by now. But, you know, with the kids, we decided to homeschool this year because it gave me anxiety, the school, and are we gonna be in school online, when it's gonna start? They were changing the dates all the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't deal with this. I can, you know, it was as much for my sanity than for the kids. And we have a schedule, but I think, so when my son was born, I wanted to have an unmedicated birth in a birth center. And why I'm telling this here, because I had a scheduled C-section. My son never turned and all my plan went out of the window. And I'm always saying that that was lesson number 1 in mamahood. You can have your plans and it's not gonna go like planned. So for our day, yes, we have a plan. What we do, you know, when we can watch TV, when we do, you know, schooling and stuff. But I'm also very acceptant that it's not gonna happen like that. And, you know, if we don't start at 9, just 9:15 or sometimes even 10, because whatever, you know, if they are playing really well and, you know, drawing and crafting, I'm not gonna tell them you have to sit down because now it's reading time. So I think that that's something that keeps our sanity, just to accept that I'm a control freak. So it was, you know, a huge adjustment. Ask my husband. But I just felt that for me, it was very important to just accept things the way it is, and that sometimes it's not going to happen as I planned, and appreciate the moment that we have right now, appreciate that they have this bonding time together, and not worrying about whether, we are following my schedule or my plans. So
Yeah.
I think that's my biggest takeaway about, keeping them as happy as they are when they are happy, like right now they are.
Yay! I know. I heard someone say this just resonates with me because I too was the scratch everything off the list. Everything's this way, organized, etc. And then, as you said, it doesn't always work that way. So now I call myself a recovering type A. I can try however much I want, but I heard that from someone and I thought, that's a great way to look at it. You're kind of still acknowledging that that's what you would like, but you're understanding. Like, I love the way that you do that. You're just seeing that your children are enjoying those moments, and you're not going to say, this is how it's going to be or else. And that's fabulous for family life. That is such a challenge that lots of families are facing right now. And what you have just said so eloquently is what the world definitely needs to hear. So thank you for sharing that. That is great.
Yeah, I feel like you can try, but you will struggle. And, like sometimes we do an activity and, I try to, I think it's important that he also learns that sometimes you have to do stuff even if you don't feel like. And, that's what I'm learning as an entrepreneur now. Like, I don't always feel like to work, at 10 p.m. I just want to go to bed, but if I have to finish, and that's why what I feel that makes people successful or not, like whether you can pull through those moments. But I also feel at age 6, if I really see that he's a struggler and he's just not getting it, like I give him a slack, and then, we can do it tomorrow. Like, it's okay if he's not learning, the time today, we can just, revisit it. And, like I have always the temptation to push, but then very quickly, I just have to remind myself that it's going to be painful for me and for him. And we're probably going to have a huge fight, and then, but he's not going to learn from this. So.
Yeah, that's the great way to put it. Yes, is the way they won't learn. Yeah, that way. Well, so I love that you bring that up. That made me think of something else. So as a lot of times, just not just moms in general can sometimes, especially now when we kind of feel isolated a little bit, have like trouble motivating ourselves. And I do not see that with you at all. Like, you are so motivated. So can you share like some of your mindset or some of your tips that you use to motivate yourself? Because it's kind of hard with all the balls up in the air, doing things with kids at home and being tired and all the things like that. What do you do?
So I have that. Actually, someone was just asking in one of the groups, like, how is your week and how productive you are? And I had a tough beginning of the week. Like, I was just telling my husband, I lost my mojo to cook. Like, when the kids are not wanting to eat, like I used to make these fabulous meals and, French inspired and whatever, but if they don't want to eat it, like, why am I putting all the time and effort into? So the beginning of the week was a little bit hard like, I have those moments too. I actually thank this job I'm doing right now for growing so much as a person. Like, my mindset changed a lot, and just, not having a boss and being just responsible. Like, I can take a week off or a month and no one's gonna come after me. But I just try to remember the vision, why decided I to go on this route and not going back to my job, and why, everything that it gives us benefits. And, when I have that moment of not wanting to do, or, like just stay in bed, it's like, that's why I'm doing it. That is the benefit that I'm gonna get eventually. And for me, it helps me to put through that moment. And like, this week, I just needed to take a break, in the sense that I was still working, but it's like, okay, let's put the phone on the side and I started to clean. Like, sometimes I just need to take time for all those things that I'm pushing aside, like it gave me anxiety that the house is a mess, but I don't have time because I have to do this and this and this. And I said, let's just take care of this because it's, bothers me. And then I can sit down to do what is actually important to do. So sometimes I feel like slowing down, it's actually a way to accelerate the process and, just have a new energy after.
Yeah.
And I just really try with the kids. Like I realized, and I think a lot of moms are suffering from this, that you try to be with the kids, but you try to work and you multitask and kids are bugging you. So you are neither a mom nor doing your job. So for me, it was a big aha moment when I said, you know what, I'm just gonna do for 2 hours. I'm not touching my phone. I put it in another room. It's fine if I don't answer a message or whatever, I'm not an ER that, life's not depending on me. And I just focus on the kids and the, homeschooling or whatever we are doing. And then when they watch the TV, then I can sit down and just do this, because I had to realize, as much as my CV was full with multitasking and how great I'm multitasking, it's BS. Like, no,
Yes.
You have to focus on what you are doing, because I just ended up being frustrated. My work took me 5 times more than it could really if I'm focusing. My kids were whining all the time. And I just had to be, and if you work from home, I think it's really important to recognize that you have to separate work and everything else. You cannot be simultaneously everything within a day.
Yes, I would completely agree with that. And I love that you use the word vision too, because that's for lots of people, that's what they need to motivate them, like to have that vision of what they want. Like that's so powerful. So I that keyword, I'm like, oh yes, that's a great one.
I actually have a vision board right in front of me.
That is awesome. That's what you're supposed to do. Yes, I have a couple of them in different spots. I have kind of a life one and then the business one. So yeah, I love that. Yeah. So you kind of touched on this a little bit, but I'd love to hear a little bit more about what is the best way that you can think of that you give yourself grace? As moms, we, like you said, it's really easy to kind of keep going and check things off the list, or to say, okay, I'm going to do this time and this time and see what's going on. But, sometimes when it is a little bit chaotic and things happen that aren't really, in our power, like, how do you give yourself grace? What do you do? Because I feel like everybody has different ways of doing that. And I'd love to hear yours.
So it depends on what happened, like I learned from when I grew up and my mom had a bad moment and she said stuff that as a child I was like, oh my gosh, how can she say something like that? And for me, now being a mom, it's really, it was such an eye opener that, you can be mad and it doesn't, like now I see that, sometimes stuff comes out. Mm-hmm. And, it's like, everyone has different temperament, but I'm sure most of the moms do things that, we are not proud of. But for me, I just try to think that my kids are learning from that I'm a human being, that I have buttons to push, that, I have also a certain limit of my patience. I try to give them fair warning that they are here and, my limit is here. And, after, if something like this happened, I just, come back after and use this as a learning experience for all of us, and talking to them, why I was angry and what happened. And for me, just that moment of recuddling and explaining and discussing, I try to turn it into positive. I try to think about it that, okay, it's not me who cannot control her emotions or whatever, but I'm a human being, and my kids are gonna learn that it's okay, we are gonna get angry sometimes or whatever, but you just have to know how to handle the situation and how to make it better and, talk about it. So for me, we try to every night like have a little bit of a conversation about what happened during that day, whether it's good or bad, you know, like daddy comes home and he asks what we were doing. And if something like this happens, like we have an argument, then what can they do to make it better? What can I do? You know, how can we not go there? Like sometimes I just need to say like, you need to go to the room. I'm not punishing you, but like we are getting to that zone when I don't want to be. So I think it's, you know, a learning for all of us. And I even tell them, you know, I've never been a mom before. I'm learning with them. So I just try to figure out, homeschooling is the same. Like some things I do well and others I'm probably failing. And, you know, I just told them that this is right now the situation. I'm trying to figure out to do the best for them. And, you know, we just have to take it with the imperfection.
Yeah, I don't think you're failing at all. You're not failing. I don't think you're not failing. You still have your kids fed. They're still alive. You're doing a fantastic job. Definitely don't discount your work that you're putting in on that, because I understand how that feels, and it's leaps and hurdles.
I have actually the t-shirt I love. When I had my daughter, I actually had postpartum depression after, and a friend of mine sent me a t-shirt and it says, today's goal, keep the tiny humans alive. And sometimes when I wake up, it's, you know, not necessarily the right side of the bed. I just put the t-shirt on as a reminder that, you know, the most important of the day, that, you know, I keep them alive. I feed them, they are not hurt. Everything else is bonus.
Yes, that's 100%. Yes, I have a couple of shirts like that. I've been trying to accumulate those, because then every time you wash your hands or you go to the bathroom or any of those things, it reflects back at you, and it's a great reminder. I love that.
Talking about mirror, that's another, keeping the vision. So I have my vision board, but I also have keywords in my mirror. So every morning I wake up, every evening. So I have all the goals I want to achieve this year, you know, keywords that I try to keep in mind. So it was actually cute because my kids have seen me doing it, and then they also scribbled on their mirror.
I love that. Yes, like affirmations.
Exactly.
Yay!
And, you know, like goals, like what's the rank I want to achieve, and, you know, what are, you know, in social media. So
yeah, well, you've kept everybody on their toes too. Like, I do want you to talk a little bit about like this opportunity that you have, that you're like sharing with the world. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, of course. So I tumbled up and, you know, I'm a PhD chemist. I never in my life ever thought, like, even if you asked me 2 years ago that, or tell me I'm gonna do this, I would say you lost your mind. Like, there is no way. I didn't even know, to be honest. I was just that ignorant person who rejected something without knowing anything. I just know what most people, you know, hear and, you know, on the internet and whatever. But I fell in love with this product, and I don't know if you can see, I did just this Burberry design. I'm not creative at all. So doing this, it's like, I'm so amazed how easy. I just tried this product. I loved it. I helped out a friend, and I realized how much other women loved it when I started to share. And I realized that it's selfish from me not to share it with others, because I gave up on self-care when I became a mom, and definitely nails was the last thing in my mind. I don't have time to sit there for 2 hours not doing anything. And if I had 2 hours, I would go with a friend, have a coffee or a brunch, you know. For me, it fills my cup more than sitting somewhere with my hands, you know, and I cannot even like communicate on my phone. And the second I mentioned that, I just felt bad spending money on myself for things like this, you know. It's like, okay, it lasts for what, like a week or two for so much money. So when I discovered this product, I felt like every woman should at least know about this. And, you know, then they can decide if it's for them or not. But most of the women are, you know, that's what we need, like something super fast, cheap, affordable, let's say, not cheap, because we have a negative connotation with that, very affordable, and something that you don't need to leave the house. Like, I love that we can go to a restaurant and I can do my nails while we are getting to the restaurant. My husband is driving, and because we always do our hair, makeup, and I always felt that I did not have the period at the end of the sentence, because then I look at my hands and it was like, and I did not realize until I started to use this product how important it was for me. And like you mentioned, the mirror, that it's always, an affirmation, your t-shirt. For me, I realized that this you don't see unless you wash your hands. Your fingers are in front of you every day, all day long, whether you're tapping on neon or typing on your computer or whatever. And I realized that it just, every time I look at my fingers, I feel like I'm put together. Even if in my mama clothes or whatever, I have a mom bun, it makes me feel like, oh, I'm fancy today. So, and then the business opportunity that I never thought I would feel that how much growth I can still have. Like, I have a PhD, you would think that I was like, I'm done with studying. Every single day it's a new challenge, and it's just a constant growth. Like, I don't feel like I felt with my research job that this is it, like I'm plateaued, I don't learn anything anymore, it's getting boring. I don't like to be bored, I like to be challenged. And here, my team is growing, there are new responsibilities, and I just feel it every single day. It keeps me on my toes, and I just love helping. Now I'm in a position to coach others and have them build their business, which I love. I used to teach at the university. It's, I feel this is really the sweet spot for me to have this, the other women to do the same that I'm doing.
I love that. And the way that you phrased it too, when you said, I don't want to say this completely incorrectly, but it was something along the lines of, I want everyone to see this opportunity. Like, that feels so giving. I love that. That just kind of gave me the warm feels when you said that. It just sounded so kind and genuine, and that just reflects on your personality to me. So I love that.
I don't think, if someone doesn't want to do this, I don't have any interest on, forcing it on anyone. So I think it's an amazing opportunity. And actually, we just started to do my team opportunity night, when we just do, like, last time it was a bingo night. So it's like absolutely no pressure. We just share the information. Ultimately, everyone has to decide if it's for them or not. And if it's not, then, like, that's okay. Like, there is other opportunities out there, that maybe it's a better fit. But I just feel, for me, it wasn't the money, because I didn't even think about making money with this. It's, since I was so ignorant and didn't know anything about this business. But, it was, for me, the cherry on the top. It was the community. It was the personal development that I gained that was really pushing me to go further and further. And then the money came, as a reward of all that, and not the other way around.
Yeah. That's usually how it goes, right?
Yeah. I was thinking, like, when I started my job as a scientist, it's like my first job, I was like, $90K, and I was like, I couldn't believe it, after postdoc for so many years. But then I just felt that, okay, what's next? Where am I going? Like, I could become a director and be on the road and not seeing my kids. Like, it just I did not have a vision in it anymore.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can completely understand that one. No matter, I know you love to travel. No matter, even if you love to travel, it's not the same when you're traveling on your own versus with your family or for vacation. They're two totally different things. So
yeah, I hated to travel for work. It was nothing pleasure. Just in and out and come home. And, even when my husband, if he travels over, like sometimes he has to go to Europe, we always try to coordinate it and do a family. So he goes for work, I go to visit family, and then and that's the best feeling when we, like, meet in Paris airport, and the kids run. Like, I love that part about it. But, when he just goes for 2 weeks, honestly, like, this is a little bit like, I was grateful that COVID happened, because he was home. He didn't travel since I don't even know if he traveled this year, because right when it would have picked up, COVID started, and now they are granted. But I'm just grateful he did not have all those traveling that he has.
Yeah, that's fantastic. See, there's silver linings.
For us, honestly, I know it was really hard or it's still really hard for a lot of families. For us, it was hands down an amazing year. Just Daddy being home, me being able to focus on the business, homeschooling, and the kids, I feel they just bond. I hope it's gonna keep them, for the rest of their life. Yes, they miss their friends, but now because they have to depend on each other, I just feel they are so much closer than they have been before.
Yeah.
So, I tried to see what was positive about this whole situation, and we were fortunate because we didn't lose our job or anything. So.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, I know that you do want to have people be able to connect with you as well. So can you tell them where to find you if they want to connect?
Yeah, so my Facebook is just my name, Edina Mahieux, and it's funny. I always joke that when I pick my husband's name that, you marry for the better and the worst. And I always say that I took the worst already. I chose your name so that no one can pronounce. So my last name is actually spelled Mahieux. And on Instagram, I'm Life Nailed, because I really would like to bring the knowledge how to nail your nail. It's not just about the nail polish strips. It's about how to make the best out of your life and how to get, what you have. Like for us, it's pretty much extra money. So we are investing in, and hopefully, it will lead to financial freedom in a few years. So we are very conscious about what we do with our money and how we invest our money, because we don't want to work until we are retired age and finally can get our leftover 401k, but left after this year. So for me, this is really the message, like how to use your mindset to build your business, and then hopefully that will lead you, to nail your life. So this is the two main, and then, you can just connect with me. Social media is the best way to connect with me because I'm obviously always there. And then, from there, I barely even check my phone. My husband said, I sent you a message. Did you see it? It's like, is it a messenger?
You're like, no, I didn't see it. Oh, well, thank you so much for chatting. It was wonderful.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It was really fun, and I love to just see your post, and I often share your quotes because it really resonates with me. And I think, as an entrepreneur mom, and even if you are a stay-at-home mom, or whatever you do in life as a mom, you just have to really keep those things in mind, that it's the hardest work you can ever have, and whatever else you do on top of it, that's extra, even if it's doing the laundry. Like, trust me, my laundry room is full.
Oh, yeah, I know. Definitely understand. Right there with you. Well,
I really
I'm so excited.
appreciate you inviting me.
Of course. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you so much. Bye.